Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into the Winklerverse, Thursday, March 12th. Ryan Horvat. There's something about this time of the month of March where I feel very connected to you, because it's been 6 years since COVID and we had shows then.
Remember when we were all getting set just to watch the conference tournaments? I think it was the Big 12, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember if it was the Big 12 or if it was the ACC. A couple games were already in progress. They just went into the half. I think Pitt was playing. They went into the half, and then there was never a second half. They didn't go back onto the floor.
Because the NBA shut down, and then college was like, and then it was a half of the Big East tournament.
That sucked.
And then they shut it down. And then there was still some hope that the XFL would play that weekend. But then they're like, we can't do this. We can't, because somebody on the Seattle Dragons got it. And then they're like, okay.
Yeah. It was
but SmackDown was live that Friday night.
What's funny is, so Nathan got the new video game, which I don't even think really comes out until this week. We paid $160 for the early release.
Oh, we're getting it tomorrow. I've already been told.
It has the so we've been playing it already, and it has the COVID era arenas with the screens. And so Nathan was like, I want to go back and watch a couple of these on Netflix now, because there is no such thing as the WWE Network. And I was like, no, it was so bad. But we did it anyway. And there's so much that I forgot. Our boy and friend of show, Otis, was the Money in the Bank winner. Seth Rollins legitimately, they killed Rey Mysterio.
They threw him off the building.
And then Seth Rollins tore his freaking eyeball out. There was an eye for an eye match, and they ripped his eye. It was a bad product, and I felt bad. You feel bad going back and watching, and it was bad. It was all we had, though, man. The college basketball tournaments got canceled. Remember, we thought that there was an outside chance that the NBA would hang on, and then Rudy Gobert touched the microphone, and then he had COVID. Frickin' Rudy Gobert. And then everything was dead. And what's funny about that, not funny, because nothing about it was really funny, but we had jobs. So every single day, Monday through Friday, we were on the air for 4 hours, 20 hours a week. We didn't even have commercials the final hour. We had a commercial-free hour, which is insane. Even podcasts, you don't go 60 straight fucking minutes. But there was no sports, and we had jobs. Now there's so much going on. There's the World Baseball Classic. There's hockey. There's basketball. There's baseball starting up. We got a real rivalry between your boys and mine, and we don't have jobs. We don't have jobs. There's just random people that I've never heard of in Wisconsin hosting shows. And here I am. My thing, I just go to the gym all day. That's all I do. I go to the gym and I eat 6 meals, and I try to get in 220 grams of protein. I said that if I'm not going to be working, I'm just going to try to become the next fucking Mark Wahlberg. Maybe I'll get in on the next Fair movie or something. Let me in the fucking house.
What do I do all day? I go for walks. I do pick up and drop off.
I do that.
That's a good chunk of my time, because then we play at the park after, and that could be a while. And then I tweet a bunch of stuff that people that have blackballed me still criticize. So it's good. It's good to be it's good to feel like a martyr.
Yeah, I want to say something that I haven't been able to say, and now I could say it because, the severance has run up. What sucks about me not having a job is that I always thought that if you got good ratings and a ton of downloads, especially the most downloads on your entire show, that you got to keep your job. I thought the only way that you lost the job in radio would be if your company went under, which, ours didn't really. And if you said something to get canceled, and I did neither, and yet I'm still here, and I'm not able to talk sports. I'm not able to talk football, even though I didn't do anything wrong, and people listen to my show. So that's what sucks, because now, man, like you said, we've kind of been blacklisted.
Well, what I've noticed too is, because I'm still getting people reaching out, saying, I miss you on the radio.
Same.
A guy tweeted today that he was like, he's just a lonely artist and he's got a flip phone and I was his companion at nights. And it doesn't matter how many of those you stack up. It doesn't matter if it's hundreds, thousands, millions, and millions, because the power of the people will be thwarted by the suits.
For sure. I'm cool, like I said. If I got to do something else, I got like a bunch of certificates now, so if I do want to like coach high school football, I can do so. If you and I go out to eat and like you go down, man, I could give you the Heimlich and everything now. But I want to continue to do this because this is what I like to do, so hopefully that works out. But if it is the end and it's just podcasts from here on out as a guest, then at least I went out the way that I wanted to, and I didn't have to be some like corporate shill, because that's how you survive. I hate these new like hot take videos. Oh man, I love the Chiefs signing of Kenneth Walker. Are you fucking brain dead? Why would can I ask you this? Why would the Chiefs, and I know we're going to talk free agency. What I'm saying is I went out my way. You know, I'm not like doing fake pirate bits and giving out a bunch of fake parlays that I'm not even going to bet myself. Anything that I give out, I actually bet and keep record of. But anyway, you know, not to be bitter here, but I thought that the Chiefs signing Kenneth Walker was one of the dumbest fucking moves ever. Why would you sign Kenneth Walker when you could draft Jeremiah Love? And I know that they need help up front and they need some.
Going to be like a top 6 pick.
All I'm saying is, man, Kenneth Walker just won a Super Bowl and now you're going to give him the bag. Sure, there's great examples of running backs continuing success at 27, 28 years old. Aaron Jones had a really good year last year for Minnesota. How much money, though, are you investing in a 26, 27-year-old running back? Jeremiah Love, here's a hot take for you. I think he's the best player in the draft. And I'm not only saying that because I'm a Notre Dame fan. Usually I'm don't take a running back in the first round kind of guy. Fuck that, though, dude. Bijan Robinson, I would have taken in the first round. Jahmyr Gibbs was an excellent pick, right? We'll see about Genty. He was running behind an IHSA offensive line, so it's hard to judge with no quarterback play. I would take Jeremiah Love and pay him as a rookie running back. And I know as a top 10 pick, a top 15 pick, you got to invest top 10 capital, draft money, right? But I would rather pay him cheaper than Kenneth Walker because I think he's a better back and he's younger. I hated that signing. Sign linemen. You got Mahomes killed. You got him killed 2 years ago in the Super Bowl when you lost. You got him killed all year. People forget Mahomes has a torn ACL. When's he even going to be ready? So I didn't like that pickup. And I don't like this new era where it's just like, I'm going to walk down the street and here's my take.
Yeah, I'm not into that either.
Shit's lame.
I tried to do like, well, I did one of those when I was bitching about LaFleur that I deleted, but I tried doing one where, and then I tried doing one where then I run into something or I fall. Like, how funny is that? But it kind of looked like I got shot. So I was like, yeah, that's kind of weird. So I took it off, but I never posted it. But
I'm
yeah,
always like, why is this guy driving? Like
the driving one.
I started doing it as a bit. Right? Like I started doing it for a while because I thought it was hilarious. Like where I'd be walking down the street and I'd be like, I like Notre Dame today catching 10. What do you think, buddy? What do you think about Notre Dame? You know, I thought that was kind of funny, but I was doing it like to make fun of people. People really do this. And
well, if you're going to do it, you got to do it in really like in a Chinese restaurant or in a Walmart or in somewhere that doesn't make any sense for you to be doing it. That's how you do it.
I want to say like the names of the people that I see doing it all the time that I fucking despise and hate, and I hate their content, but I don't want to get myself in any trouble legally yet for the next month for other reasons. And I'm still looking for a job. So let's just throw out like somebody that I like, right? Like, let's say Grant is doing a video and he's just like driving in his car. Like, why couldn't Grant just wait the 15 minutes that the commute is going to take to do the video from like his home office or from the studio, right? I just think it's like, I know that that's what all the suits want nowadays. More content, more. We don't want to pay any money. Local's dead, right? All we want to do is just throw out New York guys on the national scene, but it's always just film this, film this. What's your reaction? The Kansas City Chiefs just picked up a backup center. Where's our video? More. But who at the office, who at the gym, who at home is really like, oh my God, did you see Grant's video walking down the street on the Kenneth Walker pickup? Fucking excellent. Fucking originality. We went from growing up watching legends and listening to legends like Howard Stern, right? Like, come here, honey, maybe sit on that speaker for 10 minutes. You know, like original content. Now it's just people walking down the street saying the most obvious shit. Because it's always, nothing's ever like, we got to wait and see. It's always, this is the best pickup. This is the worst hire ever. Worst coach ever. Kill him. Best hire ever. Ben Johnson.
Well, I did say the other day,
hey, let's wait and see. Maybe Fernando Mendoza is going to be the real deal and the Raiders will win 10 games. Maybe he fucking sucks and that's an excellent system that he was in at Indiana. It's always, he's going to win a Super Bowl in 2 years. He's going to be a bust. It's never, I don't really know.
Well, you can't. That's not going to do anything either.
Sometimes,
you have to have some opinion.
I mean, I have like strong opinions, but sometimes I think it's okay just not to have an opinion on every single pickup, every single signing, and say, hey, we got to wait and see. I did this with the Colts, right? I was like, ooh, because everybody ran and was like, Sauce Gardner fucking sucks. First round picks for Sauce Gardner, dumb. And it turned out they were right. But I was like, let's play this in the middle because the Colts right now, they're 7-1, 8-1. Where do they need help? The secondary. Sauce Gardner might just need a change of scenery. 2 years ago as a rookie, he was an all-pro. He was the best corner in the league, right? The Jets are a disaster. So I didn't hate the move for the Colts. Then Daniel Jones dies. The team loses every game down the stretch, and Sauce Gardner only plays like 6 quarters. So obviously it sucked. The pickup sucked. But I was like, I don't know. I see where the Colts are coming from. And then I think it's a really good move from the Jets, stacking all the draft picks that you could get. I think that's kind of a good example of being in the middle. It wasn't like the Colts are brain dead. The Jets are brain dead. It was like, let's wait and see.
You know what? I think
like the NFL draft. Let's wait and see.
All right. 2 radio free agents talking free agency here. But before I come back to that, I do want to give, I need to give you my Kenneth Walker take. I think it's going to be the greatest free agent signing of all time. I'm just kidding. The first thing I texted somebody was, they're like, Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs. And I said, get ready to learn 7 for 27, buddy. They're not going to, they famously don't need running backs. So why did they pay that? And Kenneth Walker, who, okay, so fantasy wise, I'm very knowledgeable. Kenneth Walker. I'm in a dynasty league where I have him and Zach Charbonnet. And every week I would start Walker, and then every week Charbonnet would score. So I've been disappointed by Kenneth Walker in the past. I think he'll have some games where he's very good, but I think the Chiefs, they don't use running backs in that same sense. What I would like to see you do, because I think some of the best content comes out of anger. And I would like to see you take everything you just said, pivot, and start a daily walking series called the Horvat Hustle, where you walk and you give your takes for 30 minutes, just walking around.
Just on a walk?
Yeah, but then make sure you have really big tits also.
Gonna need those. I know. No. And again, I think it's...
I'm sorry, boobs.
I think the walking thing is played out. And again, I like Kenneth Walker. I think Kenneth Walker is a really good running back. I just, I don't know, man. He just won a Super Bowl. He's looking for that probably last big contract, and you give it to him. And again, like, the offensive line still sucks for Kansas City. That was the issue. It was the issue 2 years ago. It was the issue again this year. When's Pat Mahomes coming back, even if he's ahead of schedule? I don't know. I think the Chiefs... I think it's over for the Chiefs for a little bit.
He wants to be back. I saw week 3. Corey's saying here, he told Jay Glazer mid preseason. Tatum just came back. Jason Tatum.
I know. Celtics are scary.
I got 15 to win 500 on them back in January.
Played a little Celtics too. I love Jason Tatum too. Know that he's kind of a little bit of a choke artist when we get to the NBA finals and whatnot, but I think he's an excellent player. I don't think he's like a top 3 player or anything like that, but I think he's a really good player. He's a winning basketball player. Seems like a good dude and pretty remarkable coming back. What is it, 10 months after that injury?
One NBA thing, quick. People that are going out of their way to defend Bam Adebayo, like you were on the wrong side of history. That was bullshit.
Yeah, but you're gonna blame him. I would want to score 85 points too.
I would too. So if I was him, and if I was the Heat, I would have done the same thing, because the further you get away from that, the less toxic it will be. Bam's 83 is not going to be toxic in 10 years when people are like, who scored the most points in a game? Will, Bam, Kobe. But, you know, Keldon Johnson spiking free throws at the rack so that they can miss. Yeah, it's bullshit.
It was bullshit. It was bullshit, especially if they're up like 20 plus points against the frickin' Wizards.
2 things can be true. It can be a historical achievement that was, I mean, they got rewarded for bad behavior. Let me just say the line. That's what happened. They got rewarded for bad behavior.
I didn't like that everybody was like, well, he shouldn't have broke Kobe's record.
But the thing is, Kobe doesn't even have the record.
Right.
This is the only record where we treat second place as first place.
Yeah, and like we will always remember Kobe, but like if I have the opportunity to pass him,
if we treated second place records like the record, Mark Gastineau would have never confronted Brett Favre at a trading card shop.
I have always tried not to be this guy because I've always loved the league. The NBA is dog shit, and I can't even defend it anymore, man. It's a really bad product. I do enjoy watching a couple teams, like OKC's still fun. Detroit's fun. The Bucks, I bet them again the other night. They're 1.5 point dogs every single night. Every night I keep telling myself, well, they can't lose again, and they do. And they always have the lead going into like the third quarter. NBA is still the same. You want to be down about 20 going into the half. I hate it. It's a terrible league. I am getting back into college basketball, especially with the tournament going on right now.
Miami of Ohio lost today.
Yeah, they went down. I was betting against them for a while too on the money line. I was like, pressure's going to get to them. And then today, I bet them. I was like, everybody's betting against them. They're going to win by 20. And they were up like 6 or 8. I was at the gym, of course, because that's all I do. And they blew it. All right. Let me throw something at you real quick. My NFL free agency winner. Here's the team that I'm going to buy low on right now. Tell me if they're too popular, though. I've never been a big Bryce Young guy. He looks like he's in the 6th grade, but I like how he played down the stretch. Again,
I am a Bryce Young guy.
I like how he played against the Rams, even if they had a weak secondary, which, right, like, if you're going to bet a Super Bowl future, it's probably the Rams. They needed help in the secondary, and they get the best corner on the market. I love that move for them. Everybody's going to like them, though. I kind of like Carolina as like a buy low team. I got to see what their win total is going to be and what their division futures are going to be. I'm not going to bet them to win the Super Bowl or to win the NFC or anything like that. But that defense, which was a huge issue 3 years ago when they were historically bad, worst run defense, I think, in league history, much better, man. They get Jalen Phillips for $120 million, but money well spent. And then they get Devin Lloyd for $45 million. So 2 of the best players available at their positions on the defensive side of the ball. They already have really good interior linemen. Well, they have Derek Brown, who's a really good interior lineman. And they have J.C. Horn. They might have a top 10, buy high, buy low, top 5 defense. I like that, man. I like this offseason, even though they lose Rico Dowdle. I was glad that they didn't overspend on him. He's not going to have another season like that. But with that defense, Tet McMillan, year 2, we'll see what they do in the draft. I kind of like what Carolina did here the last week.
Rico Dowdle's 3 hot weeks was the most Jeremy Lin running back excursion.
Dude, it was crazy, though.
Of all time. I like the Panthers. I like Bryce Young. I think that Bryce Young's going to prove to be better than CJ Stroud. That's my take. So I'm going to ride with them on that. Ryan Horvath is here. What?
I was a Stroud guy, man. He's awful. He's horse shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't like how he's like, I didn't like when he tried to like big brother Caleb Williams. Because even I said it at the time. I was like, dude, he's better than you. Like he's better than you. He's in a dog shit offense right now.
Yeah, he hasn't been good since.
No. And like the testing, remember like we were ripping the testing?
Yeah.
maybe there's a little bit something to the testing. Maybe Paul was right, man, because I think CJ Stroud might be brain dead.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see. I was just going to do a professional reset again on a podcast.
Yeah.
This is into the Winklerverse. Well, we are live. So, some people are like, who are these two? Exactly. You should know us, but no one will. We're brought to you by, we have some support. We're brought to you by Happy Place Hemp. Promo code is Bart, 25% off each and every order. Happy Place Hemp, the THC gummies and seltzers. Take advantage of this. The sale is awesome, and they never take it away. Carl's Place brings you these episodes with the golf simulators, and then we are live on the Dan Shaney YouTube stream. Packers, they lost a handful of guys.
Thank Christ, all of them.
Yeah, I had a nice tidy list here. They lost Malik Willis. They lost Romeo Doubs, who joins the 5 other Romeo Doubs on the Patriots. I already said that joke. I'll say it again. Rasheed Walker, Quay Walker, Kingsley Enagbare. Did I say that right? Paul's always on my ass. Emmanuel Wilson. Oh, Trayvon Diggs. Nate Hobbs they cut. They traded Rashawn Gary. They bring in Javon Hargrave. Finally, some of the NFC North incest comes our way. And then Benjamin St. Juste, the cornerback. And I don't know, maybe more people want to pontificate, but they lost a lot of guys. They trade Colby Wooden for Zaire Franklin, so that's an upgrade as well. I don't know that they're any better. I don't know that they're any worse. You just got to hope that the guys Nate Hobbs is a colossal failure. They're keeping Aaron Banks. They cut Elton Jenkins also, which I did not see that ending this way with how high they were on him a while back.
Yeah. I got to be honest.
What letter grade would you give the Packers?
Right now, incomplete, right? They need help in the secondary, man. It's going to obviously – the whole season comes down to, can Micah Parsons come back and be Micah Parsons immediately? Because I know he's ahead of the rehab time and he wants to be out there. If you notice, it's always, I want to be out there preseason. I'm going to be out there week 1. Like we just got done saying with Mahomes and Micah Parsons. But if he's healthy, he's still a top 5 at worst edge rusher in the league. And if you could get constant pressure on the quarterback and you don't leave your dog crap corners on an island all game for 3, 4, 5 seconds with the quarterback in the pocket, the defense is going to look better. But I still worry about the secondary for Green Bay. I tweeted about this, and I know I'm a little bit of a Goot hater, but he gets an extension, and I just don't understand it. Like, I love the Micah Parsons trade. I would make that deal too. I would give up 2 first-round picks. I'd probably give up 3 first-round picks for a Myles Garrett or a Micah Parsons because you need edge rushers. But, he always gets a pass, man. All these guys are first-round picks, and none of them ever work out. And a couple of them have even been paid and got that second contract. Rashawn Gary, I didn't love the pick only because I liked Rashawn Gary, the player at Michigan, but I didn't know what he was going to be at the next level. Was he an edge rusher? Was he going to play with his hand in the dirt? Was he a defensive tackle? I didn't know. Had a good year, contract year, gets the bag, and then, you kind of forgot about him. I didn't even notice he was on the field. Never got after the quarterback. Was getting paid like a top edge rusher. The run defense grade stuff was pretty good, but he never had double-digit sacks after getting paid. So I think that was the right move. But again, it was a first-round draft pick who you paid, and it doesn't work out. Quay Walker, I thought he was talented, but again, I thought he was like a little brain dead, man. Like, he's a hell of a football player, but he just didn't have the smarts. He was trying to fight people every week, including athletic trainers. I thought he was going to get punted off the planet for a while there. First-round pick, though, right? And now he's gone. Nate Hobbs last year was one of your big offseason pickups. And yeah, he was awful, but he was playing out of position all season long. He's a slot corner, and because of injuries and lack of talent, you were playing him out of position. So I wasn't bringing him back at that price tag, but if you would have taken a pay cut, I would have brought him back. Again, like you said, I don't think you're any worse. I don't think you're any better. They need help in the secondary. I don't necessarily love losing Dobbs, even though he's not a number 1 wide receiver by default on this team. He's like the one guy, except for on special teams, that you could trust. If Christian Watson could stay healthy, you could trust him. I like Jaden Reed, but that drop, to end the season kills. So you're going to need some help in the wide receiver room. You definitely need some help in the secondary. I like Hargrave, but isn't he 33 years old? Regardless,
I know his son's pumped to come here. That was cute. I saw that.
You need some help in the interior, and then you need to get Micah back, and the defense should be better. But yeah, I mean, they didn't really blow me away with anything, and I think Goot continues to get a free pass for a lot of dog shit first-round draft picks that haven't worked out.
I'm gonna go through some of the other teams, and when I see things that we should comment on, I will throw them your way. I guess I'll just start. I got it in alphabetical order. Arizona getting rid of Kyler. We knew that was coming. It seems like he's headed to Minnesota is where the dots are connecting. So good luck. That might work though. But I don't know. I'm thinking Kyler with Justin Jefferson. I'm also thinking Kyler with, Fitz or Marvin Harrison. And it's like, they're still going to be 8 and 9. They might actually be worse. The Falcons getting Tua. They're not going to start him, are they? That's Penix's job. I thought they were just bringing in a lefty backup. I know everyone's making the Hawk Tua joke because it's so funny. But Tua's not starting in Atlanta.
He might end up starting in Atlanta. Penix is awful. I wanted him to be good, right? But it didn't look very good. But Tua, yeah. Ooh. What's the excuse you could even make for Tua, right? He just needs a change of scenery. He can't play in cold weather. He needs a better play caller. I like McDaniel. He needs better weapons. He had Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Devon Achane, right? I mean,
but he's also his team also was trying to get him concussed.
Yeah, I think that's.
Remember the week everybody said Tua needs to retire.
Yeah, because he kept getting concussed.
Then he played. He was fine, and we've never said it again. So I didn't say it at the time because if you're going to say it then, you got to say it now. You got to say it every time you see Tua. You got to say he shouldn't be in there. But we got our takes out for the week, and then we moved on.
I would assume that Tua's probably like the insurance policy. Most likely he's going to have to start the season because Penix got hurt. And then when Penix comes back, it's his job unless Tua is balling out. But I don't know. I mean, they have a ton of weapons, and every year people are betting them to win the division. So we'll see. We'll see if that goes down. I don't know, man. I'm not a Tua guy, though. I would rather have Kirk Cousins, honestly. Kirk Cousins balled out when he was finally, put out there. 2 years ago, I didn't really understand
Cousins sucked
$100+ million because he wasn't healthy. He couldn't take snaps under center. So if they were going to run the ball, they were in the pistol. And if they were going to throw the ball, they were just in traditional shotgun. If an idiot like me could tell you that, obviously defensive coordinators picked up on it pretty quick. But then last year he looked healthy. So
where's Cousins going to go? He should go to the NFL on CBS desk is where he should go.
I mean, he probably should, but I don't know. Maybe I saw the Raiders might go after him, which would make a ton of sense because the reports are that the Raiders don't want to start Fernando Mendoza week 1. They don't want to start him his rookie year, which we hear with all these guys. Remember, Drake May wasn't going to start. Caleb Williams might not start. Jaden Daniels might not start. They all start. But that would make sense. And I think that
even Eli was going to sit for a year behind Kurt Warner, and they were starting him by week 8. I think Tua got the nod after Fitzpatrick won a game. So then they still made the switch.
It might not be the dumbest move, though, right? Build the offensive lineup. Let them learn the offense. I don't mind quarterbacks sitting and not being thrown into the fire right away. Some guys, I just think it serves them best to be thrown into the fire right away. Even though Caleb Williams,
I want that decision made. I want teams, if they say we're going to sit you, you stay the course. You don't throw them in because you're 3-6 and you're like, we need some wins. No, you don't need wins. Otherwise, you would have started the guy you drafted in the first round.
Right. Exactly. I still think the Raiders start Mendoza week 1. My hot take, man, is I'm not saying he's going to be a better quarterback, but I like what I saw from Ty Simpson in the combine. And he could make all the throws. I know he had a couple bad weeks at Alabama. He wasn't healthy down the stretch. And what happened was Alabama's offensive line wasn't your typical Alabama offensive line, especially in pass protection. Caden Proctor's an absolute stud. He's going to be a top 20 pick. But in the blueprint on how to beat Alabama and how to shut down Ty Simpson, they picked up on that after the Oklahoma game. And then Georgia did the same thing in the SEC title game. They just blitzed him on like 80% of his dropbacks. So he struggled under pressure. When he was kept clean, he had like a 98.2 passing grade. When he was under pressure, it was like 54.6. Why can't he be Ty Simpson, the next Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins? He's going to be a first-round pick. I think he's going to get drafted higher than people expect. And I think he's going to be – I think he's going to find success earlier if he's in the right situation, maybe than Mendoza, man, because a lot of young quarterbacks struggle when they're under pressure. Who doesn't when you got a 6'4" edge rusher in your face? So I still like Ty Simpson even after a couple stinkers down the stretch. I think he's the second best quarterback in this draft. He might end up being the best quarterback, but you got to draft Mendoza. He's the safe pick. He just won a national title, won a Heisman, could also make the throws, but I don't know. I know a lot of guys, not a lot of guys, but some of the like film guys like Dan Orlovsky, I know he really likes Ty Simpson. I think he likes Ty Simpson more than Fernando Mendoza. I wouldn't be shocked if he turns out to be a better pro. That's all I'm saying.
I don't trust a word that guy says.
I like
him. Rossini.
I don't trust her.
I don't know what they're up to. I don't know what the angle is.
I like when Dan's breaking down film. I don't care about these reports.
I like when Dan pulls a Bart and is a victim online.
I really only listen to Jay Glazer as far as reporting goes.
Well, yeah, he works out with all these guys.
Right. Yeah, he has the inside track. Oh, you know what I was going to do really quick?
What?
I'm going to bet a future. And it was the team that I liked last year. 2 years ago, I bet this team to miss the playoffs after they made the Super Bowl. Last year, I bet the win total over, and that worked out. This year, man, I think they're winning it all. I at least think that they're winning the NFC.
Niners?
Pull me up a San Francisco 49ers future right now. I'll do it myself. I'm going to go to
dude,
Seahawks.
Mike Evans going there like shocked me. Like Mike Evans leaving Tampa was more shocked. I was more shocked than I would be if like an alien came to my front door tonight and said, "Hey, want to hang out?"
I hate that they lose, and I can't believe I'm saying this though, man. And I told you it was going to happen. I said Robert Saleh is going to do an excellent job, and some stupid-ass team is going to hire him to be a head coach. I didn't know it was going to take 1 year. I wish he was going back because I think he's an excellent defensive coordinator. I love Kyle Shanahan. I don't care what anybody says. I know he shoves our guy in a locker every time they meet. I don't care. So the Niners right now, for context, have the same price as the Chargers. They're 16-1. Really quick Super Bowl odds. The Rams are the favorites, plus 775. Not betting that. The Seahawks are 9-1. Not betting that, and they're not repeating. The Bills are 10-1. No chance. The Ravens are 10-1. No chance. Lions are 15-1. That's the other team, dude, because they're going to be playing a last place schedule with that offense healthier. The defense can't be any worse.
I think they missed their window.
I don't know, man. I thought so.
The last place schedule is, that's a good talking point.
Kind of like them at 15-1, the Chiefs at 15-1, no. Eagles 15-1, no. Packers at 15-1, of course, because I do it every year. Chargers 16-1, absolutely not. 49ers 16-1. Give it to me, man. We got Brock Purdy. Dude, such a devoted father and a devoted athlete that he doesn't skip out on either. He's just doing his drills with the baby right next to him. Look at the baby. Look at the baby. I know everybody thinks Mike Evans is going to get hurt. He's been hurt once in his career, even at 32. He's going for 1,000 yards. I'm betting his receiving yards over. He's a stud. McCaffrey, I don't care if he's approaching 30, stud. One of the best players in league history. I don't care. I've been having this argument with some of my buddies because I said he's one of the great all-time purpose backs, not best backs, all-purpose backs. Argue with the tree. Every year, 1,000 receiving yards, 1,000 rushing yards. Fuck you all. McCaffrey's the real deal. The defense, even without Salah, I think it's going to be better. Tougher schedule, but I like the Niners and I like the Lions as my Super Bowl picks here early in the
NFC. Keep going down that list. What's after the Niners?
All right, after the Niners, they're 16-1.
Where are the Bills?
Bills are 10-1. Don't do it. I'll give you 12-1. If you want to bet $100 on the Bills, Venmo me right now, and I'll give you 14-1. I'm so done with them. I hope it happens.
What's after the Niners?
Patriots 19-1.
No.
Broncos 20-1.
Never.
Bears 20.
What are the Jags?
What are the Jags? 22-1. Same price as the Bears.
There it is.
Duval. So I liked the Bears.
What are Mac and Rodgers?
I'm gonna bet the Bears win total under. That defense better pray that they're taking the football away.
You think if Rodgers comes back, they'll call him Mac and Cheese?
They're 70-1. No,
dude.
I'm gonna go
back. I'm gonna go back to Pittsburgh for a game that they just play like the Browns. I'm all in.
I got to be honest. I just kind of.
Is he coming back or not?
I kind of want it to be over, man.
Do you know? While I still think Rodgers is aloof, and not married,
I think he's married.
I don't.
I do.
I would really like to talk to him for an hour about the shit he goes on Joe Rogan and says. I think I got a lot more in common with Rodgers than I thought I did.
Well,
I shouldn't have been so hard on him.
Maybe you could get him on. Do we still got to see if whoever's working? Call up Charlie, whoever's at 12:50 today, and see if the Rolodex, the little black book's still in the back there.
You know, I was just wondering because I used to get WWE stuff, and then I had on Cody Rhodes the one time, and then I think WWE is like, what even was that? Now they don't send me shit no more. Like, what did Cody just go on? It's like he went on into the Winklerverse. What the fuck is that?
Well, it's not like Cody Rhodes says no to anything. He's all over everything.
He just did a podcast with this Marvel guy I listened to.
Really?
There's some guy that does like Marvel stuff, but he's a wrestler too.
So they're just talking comic books?
I don't know. He's wrestling in OVW. This guy's name is Brandon Davis. I listen to his Marvel DC pods, you know. That's the kind of shit I like in my spare time. Speaking of, this is something you say when you bring it back to 10 minutes ago. The Raiders, do you think the Ravens fucked around on purpose, or they got Hendrickson and they have to give up picks, or what was that? Because now everyone's like, oh, no one's going to deal with the Ravens. But again, like Bam, the further you get away from something, the less it's going to matter. Yeah, exactly. You and I are toxic right now, but we'll be hired again one day. Actually, we might not be. We're getting fucked.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it works out better for the Ravens, though. You get Hendrickson, who every single year.
And now the concern is no one will want to deal with them again.
Yeah, somebody will end up dealing for the right price. Somebody will, though. And yeah, I have a hard time believing that, right? Now, maybe certain teams do stay away from Baltimore, but at the end of the day, who gives a shit? Everybody's competing against each other anyway.
Yeah, just because you do one thing that someone doesn't like doesn't mean you should be blackballed forever.
And I like Hendrickson as a player, as long as, like I said, he's healthy. He's going to give you 13.5 to 16.5 sacks. Even if he's getting a little bit older, he's still under 30 years old. And I like Max Crosby. Now with Crosby, like that dude just has a motor. He doesn't leave the field, you know, so like he plays every single down, but you know, you're getting a good player. And like you said, you don't have to give up the picks. So I like this move for Baltimore. I'm not really in on Baltimore though. I'm not a Harbaugh guy, but I don't know that it's just like they just needed a different voice in that locker room. I do like Lamar, but I need to see him do it in the playoffs, man. It's always something. You want to talk about missing a window. 3 years ago, they had a historic defense. They had home field advantage. They had the Chiefs at home. And instead of run the ball, because they were doing it for 6 yards per carry, they dropped Lamar back 40 times, and he throws a bunch of picks. So I just feel like they're always going to find a way to fuck it up. What were you saying, though? My bad.
That's my whole angle. Is one of the reasons I'm very anti our head coach in Green Bay is because I can't, even if they get the bye, I can't foresee him coaching 3 playoff victories in a row. And I also can't see Lamar Jackson winning 3 playoff games in a row. I just can't. He hasn't done it. He's looked really bad in the postseason. And you can you can blame the offense or the play calling, but you got to win at least 3, usually 4 games in a row to win the Super Bowl in those high pressure stakes, sometimes on the road. And then the Super Bowl's its own beast. That's how I'm thinking of these teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, I feel like with Lamar, man, I mean, he's had some really good seasons, but
Packers couldn't even win a game past Thanksgiving weekend. So how the fuck are they going to win?
It's like you said, I mean, you could blame the play caller, you could blame the coaching, but the one thing I would blame would be like for Lamar, he's never had a number 1 wide receiver. I would love to see Lamar Jackson with a Mike Evans.
Zay might be there.
Zay's good, but I mean, he's not. Imagine like if Lamar had a Jackson Smith and Jigba or,
Chase.
Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. He's never had anything like that, like what Joe Burrow has.
Savion Williams.
Lamar's awesome. I mean, they give him Derrick Henry a couple of years ago, but I mean, he's a running back. So that would be the case I would make for Lamar, like surround him with a bunch of talent. With LaFleur, I do think LaFleur can do it. We've seen him coach to the NFC Championship game. Now he's been out-coached in those games. I still hate the decision to take Rodgers off the field, even if he did have 3 straight incompletions, one of them dropped by Devontae Adams that should have been caught. I hate that decision, though, to make a one-possession game, especially with that defense, and trust them against Tom Brady. But the argument I would make is like LaFleur last year, the Packers probably make a deeper run. They at least probably win a playoff game if Micah Parsons doesn't get hurt. When he got hurt, everybody else got exposed.
Yeah, that's fine. They were still up 21-3.
For sure. So you got to blame that on LaFleur. But I feel like this year, probably the next 2 years, he has to win a Super Bowl or
not this year anymore because they gave him the extension.
Yeah, but I still think
people are going to put the pressure on him this year that they should have put on him last year. He should have been fired.
2-year window, dude. Micah Parsons still going to be a top 5 edge rusher for the next 2 years.
But
Jordan
again,
Love is still going to be a top 10
hire?
quarterback for the next couple of years. I think now is the time that you got to strike. Man, I don't know. I don't. Every year we're like, oh, they don't really need a number 1 wide receiver. 1 week it could be Wicks, 1 week it could be Watson, 1 week.
That only works. Kraft. That only works when you don't have a number 1 wide receiver.
I wish they had Devontae Adams, even at 33 years old. Man, look what he does for the Rams. He's a red zone threat. He's still one of the better route runners. I just wish that they would have got that deal done, even if Rodgers wasn't sticking around. I would have at least a guy like Devontae Adams.
Remember when Jordy got hurt and we're like, oh, Cobb can be a number 1 receiver. And then instead he was like a number 4 receiver.
James Jones had 10 touchdown catches. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, like Cobb was never going to be a number 1 wide receiver. He's like 5'10". He's a skill position dude. He's a gadget guy.
How much do you need from Bull Boy 20? I'll pay Horvat to do a weekly show with Bart.
I mean, I'll just do it. This is the first time that you've texted me in like 3 weeks. I thought we were going to do something every single week. And then I look and you got Wicked on and you got Chuck on and you got everybody else. So I figured, hey, this guy doesn't need me anymore. I'll just eat,
Well, next week I'm trying to plan a Wicked Chuck Horvat thing. And I text Wicked about it yesterday. He goes, yeah, maybe I'm redoing my basement. I'm like, what? Just fucking go in your car and make Horvat mad. Broadcast out of your car. So TBD on that.
No, you could do the broadcast in your car. Like if it's like a breaking story that you have to get to, like if the Packers made a trade for Micah Parsons and you're in the car for the next 3 hours, you got to do the video. My thing
I think what you're saying,
I think people are going out of their way to film the content and make it look like they're doing shit that they're not doing.
Yes.
Like if I'm at the gym or if I'm at Joe's Hot Dogs and Giannis gets traded, I got to talk about it right there. But like, I don't need to talk about Kareem Hunt going to the Titans on a 1-year deal at the barber shop. That's all I was saying.
Is that where he went?
No.
Where's David Njoku going to go? Hey, why did Alec Pierce get $114 million?
No idea.
That means we're going to have to give Christian Watson 4 years for $750 million.
Well, we got in the market at the right time. Didn't they just pay Christian Watson? $116 million actually he got, by the way, for 4 years.
Fuck. Why?
I don't know. And I think they're going to be dog shit, right? Like, I think trying to run back what you had the first 8 weeks of the season is a bad move. Jonathan Taylor was playing out of his mind. Then the offensive line fell apart. Daniel Jones got hurt.
Didn't we get Sky Moore too?
Yeah, which I forgot about. And then I saw, I was on Facebook, a.k.a. the dark web.
What number is he going to wear for us, Q?
I was like,
QR code.
I was like, man, the fucking Packers have been underwhelming. And I see Mike Clemens had a Facebook post, and it was like, even though the Packers lose Rashawn Gary and Romeo Doubs, they add a wide receiver and some help. And I get all excited, right? And I see Hargrave, and I was like, yeah, I know about that. Nice. I'm like, what receiver did they get? And I'm thinking I missed like a big move. He's got Sky Moore on there. I'm like, isn't Sky Moore in the CFL?
No, he's still a card-carrying member of the NFLPA.
It doesn't really, it doesn't do it for me. Sky Moore is every fucking dude they bring in every year. And what's going to really drive me nuts is going to be when LaFleur tries to make him Tyler Ervin, who is also dog shit. And he's doing the gadget stuff with them, the end around and the jet sweeps with Sky Moore in the Lord's year of 2026. You know it's coming. Somebody please get LaFleur a real weapon, like a real gadget guy to use in this role.
Well, last year we had McCall Hardman, and we didn't do anything with him.
I keep wanting it to be Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed is just such a violent player that he's never going to be healthy, I feel.
Yeah, we suck.
We don't suck. We could easily win the Super Bowl, and I wouldn't be shocked. It just comes down to, again, Micah Parsons staying healthy. It sucks. Do you think they, try to move up in the draft this year for once? No?
Packers? No. I have a question, or I'd like to admit something.
Okay.
I never thought Geno Smith was good.
No, me either. Because he's not good.
He's living off the they ain't right back. And now he's in social media beefs, pun intended, with Wendy's.
Why?
They said something about they cocked off to him. You can see that?
No, I'm going to look at it, though. What the fuck are the Jets doing, though? And I
know they're rehabbing their defense. And then they traded for Geno Smith.
They're doing all this stuff because they think
Aaron That's like Glenn them bringing back Vinny Testaverde.
Dude, Aaron Glenn is not a head coach. He's not even a defensive coordinator. Those Lions defenses were no good. Literally the reason that they lost in the playoffs at home to a rookie quarterback. It doesn't make sense to me. They lost to a rookie quarterback at home. They won 15 games. They had home field advantage, and they get beat by the Commanders. And Aaron Glenn gets a head coaching gig. And they're going to build this defense just like they did for Saleh and not worry about the offensive side of the ball, although they did get Rodgers and all his buddies. It's just it's not going to work, dude. I know defense wins Super Bowls, but you have to have some sort of offense. And Geno Smith sucks. He's terrible. It gets worse.
I need to do one thing that I'm going to clip before the end of this here. Are there any other free agents that are burning a hole in your pocket that you need to talk about? We could talk about the Michael Pittman trade. We could talk about fucking who knows.
Now, again, I like what Carolina did. Although I do think that the Saints are going to be really tough in that division because Tyler Shuck, man, I mean, he's good, turns out. I like what the Niners did, even if he's older. I do like Mike Evans. And I like what the Patriots did. I'm not going to bet them 20-1, but they spent a ton of money last year in the offseason, and they did it again. I mean, granted, it's Romeo Doubs that you're spending $70 million on, but he's reliable. I like Doubs. I like Vera Tucker. You get a Pro Bowl safety. You get another edge rusher and Jones. Kind of like what New England did. I do not like what the Jets did with Geno Smith. I love what the Rams did because they trade for Trent McDuffie, and that's exactly what they needed. And then, one thing, though, dude. I hated what I don't like the offseason already for the Eagles. I think the Eagles might miss the playoffs next year, right? Like, they lost 3 starters now on the defensive side of the ball. They lose Nakobe Dean.
They lose Goddard.
Blankenship, and they sign Reek Woolen. I think the Eagles are a 6-7 win team. Let's look at Sirianni odds first coach fired.
What are they?
Let's see.
It's got to be Aaron Glenn, like 3-1.
No, because I think they'll just let him suck. But like the Eagles are a year removed from a Super Bowl, they're going to want to win.
So Aaron Glenn's like, if you can get through the first shitty year, you're going to coach here for 5 shitty years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they at least give him 2. But like, if they get off to a slow start, and
I said when he got hired, he will be a playoff team in his 3rd year. Oopsie.
All right, here we go. Oh, Jesus. Never mind.
First coach fired.
I don't think they're up yet. They're not up yet.
Campbell.
They're not up yet. No. I think the Lions, dude, are going to be good this year, even though I'm not a Dan Campbell guy. But I think if Philly, they lose 3 starters on defense, is A.J. Brown even going to be there? Saquon's going to be another year older. He wasn't very good this year. I think Sirianni, there's a good chance they start 1-3, 1-4. He's canned. There's a hot take. Should I go walk down the streets of Bethesda? Nick Sirianni, you fucking bum. It's like I told the buddies at Syracuse.
I think
the talent surrounded him. Bum. Why are they always angry too?
I think we both have to do a video today where we're outside walking now.
Why are the New York guys always angry?
I don't know. Traffic?
Fucking Aaron Judge, man. Get your fucking head in the game, man.
He can't be up there if he's not up there at the plate when it's a chance to get USA a lead against Italy. How's he going to be doing that on June 21st for the Yankees?
Look. I don't care if the Knicks are 48-20. They're frauds. The Fugazi, the fraudulent.
That's a word I have never said in my life.
I wouldn't have fired Tibbs, okay? And don't get me started on the goddamn Jets. The Jets don't know what they're doing. I've been around since 72. I went to the game with my old man in 79. I take my kid every single Sunday. We're there in East Rutherford. In this team, they just can't get out of their own way, and I've had enough. And it starts up top with management and with the GM. I don't want to hear about fucking Geno Smith. What year is it that we're talking Geno Smith? Cashman, Judge, the fucking Yankees. Cuse hasn't won a game in 2 weeks. Bring back Boeheim.
That's a good accent.
Thank you.
And then they're on the East Coast for a while now. You got to credit New York radio because they can get a lot. They get a lot of conversation on shit like, I'll tell you the problem with. I can't do it. With the problem with the order, it isn't 1 through 4. No, it's the 6, 7 hitters are in the wrong spot.
Here we go. I'm just gonna pull up a couple.
Kind of Falefa needs to be ahead of Brett Gardner. I'm sorry.
Here we go. I pull it up. WFAN Sports Radio. Here's their first tweet that I see. Craig Carton says the Jets had the dumbest move of the offseason until the Giants signed Evan Neal. And I'll tell you, I thought I seen it all. Bringing back Geno Smith until the New York Football Giants bring in Evan Neal. What are you doing? What are you doing?
And then they're like,
my cousin
I got a nice long
over on East 33rd knows that Evan Neal has been cooked for over 3 years now.
He's more cooked than Ma's Thanksgiving turkey.
Here we go. Evan calls out the WBC for rigging the bracket so the U.S. and Japan can't meet until the finals.
Yeah, that's like a rule of the tournament.
Here we go.
I'll tell you what. I got a long family. I got a great grandma that lived till she was 105. I got a grandparents. They're still alive. They're in their 90s. My ma has beat cancer 6 or 7 times.
Here we go.
But I'm telling you, my genes are going to fall victim to the one curse that will befall this family. And it's these damn New York Jets. Another losing season's going to put me into an early grave.
Here we go. Last night was a disgrace of the game of basketball as we know it, says Craig Carton about Bam Adebayo. I grew up watching Bird, watching Johnson, watching Ewing, watching Starks. Now we got some jabroni going out there shooting 43 free throws in a fucking game.
You and I could score
Tommy,
43
who
points
runs
in
a
today's
sub shop
NBA.
on Eastern 33rd, he don't shoot 45 fucking three throws a game. And this is what this league has become. I'll tell you, they don't got my money anymore. They don't got my league pass in the trash. Here we go. One more. One more. Craig Carton says Italy and Mexico would be smart to collude to make sure they both advance.
I agree with that.
Goes home. That's actually a pretty good take.
They should have.
All right, one last one. C-Mac went off, of course, because it could never just be, hey, it's fucking Tuesday and the sun's out in New York, you know? C-Mac went off because people were criticizing Aaron Judge because he struck out in a big spot. And here's the other thing. Aaron Judge. Guy hits 347, strikes out one fucking time, and he's the GOAT. He's the scapegoat. How about you look at 1 through 8 in that lineup? I'm out of content on the New York stuff, but they're always angry, man. They're always angry. It's always like it's got to be really easy to be the producer of a show in New York. Just hey, Craig, what are we angry about this morning? Hey, C-Mac. Hey, Evan. Hey, Tiki and Tierney. Hey, Tiki Barber, what are we angry about this morning? You know, whatever happened to fun-loving sports radio. Take me out to the Paul game.
It's dead.
Doesn't exist anymore, man.
It's dead.
Doesn't.
That was great. Seminal moment on this show and the history. One thing
Bench caught Stort.
One thing I want to wrap up with is, and I'm gonna clip this because I need to express my feelings. A couple of summers ago, we had a tailgate for the podcast, and the Apple weather app showed me days of 75, 75, 75, 105. And I start freaking out. You don't want to have a tailgate in that kind of weather. The local Mets meteorologist told me not to look at the weather app on Apple, that it's garbage and that it is unreliable. This week, the Apple weather app started showing 17 to 23 inches of snow this weekend. And the meteorologist in tandem told us not to look at the Apple weather app. We look at the Apple weather app. I'll tell you why, because it's easy and it's not littered with ads. We know that you probably produce a better forecast than the Apple weather app, and you want us to go to your station's app, but it is littered with advertisements. It is very clunky. It never is smooth. I've never seen one station produce an app that has any like smoothness to it. The UFI, user interface, different letters, is garbage. So they're telling us not to worry. Well, look at what this local meteorologist in Green Bay just put out. We are due in Wisconsin for 18 to 24 inches. And the lowest amount that anyone's going to get in most of the state is in that 5 to 8 inch range. So you told us not to trust the Apple weather app because it's not reliable. Now you're getting your forecast and you're able to tell us the thing that Apple was telling us 3 days ago. It's like if I was a sports broadcaster, which I sort of am, and said, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? And I said, no, I don't want to predict it yet. It's out too far. Niners. If you know who it's going to be, just tell us. It's okay if the Apple weather app is right. You have to trust where your people are going. We love the Apple weather app. So when we tell you what's going on, tell us why it's saying that. Don't just dismiss it completely, because we've been prepping, thank God, for 18 to 24 inches this weekend. And now you're finally saying, oh, okay, well, be careful. Get your shovels back out. We've been trying to do that all week. You've been telling us not to. Long live the Apple weather app.
Fuck yeah. Round of applause for that one. Long live any product that has to do with Apple, because since I've been, it's the only thing keeping us, the Horvats, in business, and my betting, because my wife is employed by Apple. Here in the DMV, yesterday it was 85 degrees. I had shorts on and a t-shirt. Today, I woke up, it was 62. Then it started to rain. Now we have a snowstorm. In 2 hours, it's going to be 60 degrees with the sun out. Isn't that crazy? World's ending.
75 here on Monday.
World's ending.
We'll add 2, but
for multiple reasons. One of them being Romeo Doubs not being brought back.
The other is the files in the war.
414-799-1250. Are you okay with Romeo Doubs moving on?
What would you rather have end? The Brewers losing streak or World War III? 414.
If I were on the radio, I would be ripping Goot every single day, though. None of these first-round draft picks ever work out. Who's your favorite Packer first-round draft pick? Don't answer that because there are a couple. Who do you like? Like, you know what I mean? None of these guys are hitting lately.
Mine is mine's Justin Harrell. I gotta go with him.
I think this should be a big year for Goot. I think the Packers have to win a Super Bowl in the next 2 years, or him and LaFleur should both be attached to each other.
Yeah. Do you think they like each other?
Yeah, I do. I think there's probably Goot probably watches the games and is like, man, LaFleur's such a bitch. He's getting out coached again. And then he watches the pressers and he sees him crying. He's probably like, you fucking sissy. And I think LaFleur probably sees some of these draft picks and these moves and he's like, you idiot. We had Aaron Rodgers, you know?
I think Goot has practiced in his mirror 100 times the speech to tell off LaFleur, and then he's too much of a pussy to fucking do it anyway.
Maybe.
I can't be hard on Goot because he went to lacrosse. Sorry.
You can still be hard on him.
No, those are the rules.
George Mikan went to St. Mary Nativity, and I still make fun of the way that he shot free throws.
I think Michael Jordan shoots weird.
Jordan? No.
Yeah, he shoots like.
No, he's got a perfect jumper.
I was taught to shoot like this. That's probably why.
You shot like fucking John Stockton had an ugly ass jumper. Remember that thing? It was like you're supposed to keep your elbow in and wave goodbye to the ball.
I shoot like
my son's got a nice jumper, but he's using two hands. I tell him like, you gotta like the girls shoot with two hands.
I shoot like I'm swatting a bee. I'm like, ooh, get out of here, ball.
I just shoot hook shots nowadays. That's my game at LA Fitness. I just fucking floaters and hookers.
I'm just kind of a dunk guy right now.
Yeah.
Ever tell you about the time I was shooting outside my dorm just by myself, and some guy goes up to me. He's like a 6'5" guy, looked like he'd be on the basketball team, and he goes, "Hey man, you wanna play horse?" I go, "Not really. I'm pretty bad." He goes, "Come on, let's just play horse."
You beat him.
He lets me shoot. I miss. Then he goes, "All right, my turn." He does like a windmill 360 dunk. And I'm like, "What are you doing?"
The dick move.
He's like, "Again, I can't assume." I'm like, "It's okay to assume." He's like, I assumed that you could do that.
Yeah.
You can assume that I can't.
One look. One final statement from me before I go pick up my son, highlight of my day here down the street from school at the bus stop. You need to get back into your studio because it looks like you're doing a broadcast from a living facility.
This is the same chair I use when I talk to my therapist on Zoom.
Like it looks like we're going to say goodbye to grandma. In that chair.
I could have been on a walk this whole time.
There you go. While I pick up my son, I'm going to drop a take on Trent McDuffie and how the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl.
Ryan Horvath, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks for stopping into the Winklerverse.
Got a bucket hat.
Sick. I like my
that.
dad.